Join me in welcoming the very first Bandai Movie Monster Series figure to feature plastic. Yes.
ShinRobjira.
Bandai's latest from the Godzilla Singular Point Movie Monster Series line are two very impressive releases. Not without the usual Movie Monster Series issues, but also not without some surprises up their sleeves. Let's see what makes Jet Beta and Salunga tick. So, taking a look at Jet Jaguar's tag over here, we can see Jet Beta, Godzilla 2022, Jet Jaguar, Godzilla S.P, standard back of the tag, Bandai Namco, Bandai, Godzilla Singular Point, Bandai Movie Monster Series, and all the usual stuff we normally see in a Bandai tag. Seal him in carbonite, yes! And now we can take a look at Salunga's tag, and here's a picture of Salunga, Godzilla 2022, Salunga, Godzilla Singular Point, standard back of the tag, Bandai Namco, Bandai Movie Monster Series, Godzilla Singular Point, blip blop blip 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 blip. We will never see Gabara ever again. I truly hope I am wrong about that, but anyway, paint and detail, Jet Jaguar Beta, let's go. I do very much gotta hand it to Bandai, the paint on the face this time around is very well done, as the paint on my Gabi Jr. Jet figure really wasn't the best and was kind of messy looking. Make no mistake, I still love him. Don't talk to me or my son again. Now that's not to say that this guy doesn't have some messy paint applications. We've got some runny yellow paint over here on the shoulder blades. Got a smidge of the tubing over here that wasn't fully painted. But aside from that, pretty much everything else on Jet Beta's body is pretty solid except for that. Yeah, there are a few areas over here that obviously could have been painted a wee bit better. Don't know why the Jet Jaguar belt buckle isn't fully painted, but hey, it isn't. And overall, I would call the paint job for Jet Beta pretty good. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, but pretty dang good. But also lacking in some areas where it clearly wasn't lacking with Gabi Jr. Jet. So this guy gets painted elbows, but Jet Beta doesn't. Am I sensing some favoritism there, Bandai? 'Tis but a wee little nitpick, and I am going to give paint a solid star. As we all know when it comes to the Movie Monster series, it could have been a lot worse, it could have been a lot less, it could have been a lot better, it could have been a lot of things. So, yeah, solid star. I'm comfortable with that. Detail-wise, I am loving that we are still getting the ringed blue eyes for Jet over here. I like that you can still see the bolts on Jet Jaguar's upper lip area, I guess we can call it. I love that it is all very much present on top of his head, as well as on the side of his head with those antennae, of course on both sides, and you'll of course get more of that on the back of his head. Jet Jaguar's back over here doesn't feature the battery pack, but we do see some more bolts. And we do get a bit of an eyeful of the brackets that would hold Jet Jaguar's battery pack on his back, which is rather nice. And look at that, he's even got the little port for the car seat for Yoon on his back. Moving into the legs, it's all pretty minimal here. Nothing too crazy to report, although I must say I am very much impressed with the wiring detail that'll be on Jet's knee joints. You'll obviously get a little bit more on the front of the legs and such, moving into the crotch area. Not too much going on with the sides, but what is this? Seams? As I said at the beginning of the video, I do believe this is the very first Movie Monster series figure that has plastic on it. Yeah, everything from over here down to this area over here is actually plastic. Now you might be wondering who, what, why, where, and when, how, why. Corey actually pointed it out. Could you imagine if this guy's legs warped with this type of vinyl that he's made out of? This guy wouldn't be able to stand. There would be more Jet Jaguars falling over in store shelves than... I don't have an analogy for that. So it does make sense that the waist, hip, thighs, and most of the knees are plastic. It'll help hold this guy up, and actually, he stands pretty dang well. But anyway, back to detail. You're gonna get some more lovely details over here on the knee-ish pads and shin guards. And the Jet Jaguar Tims over here are going to feature some very nice details. Something that I was very curious to see for myself once the figure finally released. And I gotta say, I think Bandai did a pretty good job with these. Really loving and digging the springs back here, painted a very vibrant red. And yeah, all of this just flows nicely. The details on the arms are rather basic. I really do wish that elbow was painted yellow. And much like with Gabi Jr. Jet, one of the most impressive parts about this figure is just how detailed the hands are. The hands and the fingers overall, they just look magnificent. They crammed a lot into this. Seriously, gotta give credit where it's due. Looks nice. I think Jet Beta is very much deserving of a solid star in terms of detail. Now let's take a look at articulation, because much like Gabi Jr. Jet, This guy's got quite a lot of articulation for a Movie Monster Series figure, and I like that. You're not going to get anything at the head. You will, however, get a full rotation at the shoulder blade up here. You're going to get a full rotation right above the elbow over here, and nowhere else on the arms. You will also get a full rotation at the... I guess we'll just call this the waist. Yeah, full rotation at the waist over here, nothing at the thighs, and nothing at the knees. Reminder again, this is all plastic. Don't try moving the legs. I feel like you would snap that. And the last little bit of articulation you're going to get is a swivel right under the kneecap. Normally with Movie Monster Series, we get arms and legs, maybe a head, maybe a tail ever so often. A tail tip is more likely. But this guy has 2 points of articulation in his arms. He can swivel right below the kneecap, and he can swivel at the waist. That's a solid star in my book, fam. No, it's not my Jaguar singular point favoritism speaking a little extra loud. No, I really like this. And honestly, I don't mind the plastic. I actually prefer my Jaguar figures being able to stand, playmates. So I'm glad Bandai took some initiative and changed things up for the better. Now, let's take a look at Salunga. So Salunga over here definitely features more paint than Jaguar, but that does also open him up to a few paint flubs. And that's mostly in the teeth, more so the frontal fangs over here. Yeah, they're a little not fully painted, but the detail on the inside of the mouth though, sweet baby Jesus, that looks great. And from the side, it does look pretty good. You know what? I'm not going to mince words here. The teeth on Salunga, especially on my copy, really could have been done a little bit better. But I am happy to say that that's really the only area that I'm not crazy about with this figure. The membranes on the side over here could have used a little bit more detail, but I love how much like Salunga this actually looks like. Just this position right here is horrifying, and I love it so much. Speaking of loving it so much, I really do love the metallic blue paint that they used for his brow and the upper part of his ear over here. It's a very striking and bold color choice, one that I'm very glad Bandai decided not to cop out on. And of course, he's got those milky white eyes, no pupils, unfortunately. And then on certain parts of Salunga's body, we're going to get this very poo-poo green on his back. That is, of course, going to be accentuated with some grays on these spikes, which aren't painted on all sides, unfortunately. At least the monkey forehead boner looks nice. I mean, it's not a detailed coup of magnificence, but at least it's painted nice. Yeah, I really don't understand what was going on over here, but I do like the doo-doo green on his back for sure. I do so, however, wish this grayish paint was actually used for the rest of his back, at least where there's spikes. Don't get me wrong, the doo-doo green is nice, but a little bit of gray where it was obviously needed would have been nice. The doo-doo stains continue on his shoulders and thighs with some nice detail there for sure. Of course, that's going to be on both sides, count them, both sides. And we're going to get some really nice underbelly paint for Salunga over here. This is very, very good looking. And we're going to get some more doo-doo stains on his feet as well as some painted nails. Unfortunately, the nails on his monkey fists over here aren't fully painted, but I'm not going to complain. Salunga looks like he just scored the winning goal at the soccer game. So as far as paint goes, it's a little shaky when it comes to the mouth, but everywhere else, it's pretty much Movie Monster Series norm. So I'm going to give Salungus Monkus a solid star in terms of paint. Now let's take a closer look at the details, because I like the details on this guy. Yes, I am a very big fan of the bumpy skin, but more so a fan of the bumpy skin towards the end of his torso into his lower half. I don't know why, but it almost looks like they outlined a bunch of these bumps, but they didn't. It's just the bumps look really, really nice moving towards his ass. I don't know. And I am especially a big fan of the detail on the bottom of the feet and even the little Duke claws over here, which I missed before in saying they're not painted. I don't know, Salunga's kind of got this premium detail thing working out for him. Like, I know I really shouldn't be surprised at this point. I've been talking about Movie Monster Series figures for 6 years now here on this channel. Yep, 6 years. Kill me now. It just amazes me that Bandai can continuously amaze me when it comes to the detail on their figures. And you gotta remember, Movie Monster Series figures are basically kids figures in Japan, so Damn. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that he's got the doo-doo stains on the fronts of his fists over here? Well, now I did. Paint still gets a solid star. And I very much just want to point out all of the beautiful line work under Salunga's eyes over here, the scaly looking monkey details along his jaws and such. I know I really didn't get into it too much beforehand, but I do have to get into it now. This looks awesome. And I love how some of the scales on his back almost kind of look like fur when you first see him. I mean, granted, it's not fur, but I just like that it looks like fur. Anyway, with that being said, solid star in terms of details. Let's take a look at articulation now. I promise you it's not going to be anything groundbreaking, but all the way around at the arms, on both sides, don't you know? All the way around at the legs, both sides, don't you know? Nothing at the torso, and nothing at the tail. There isn't even a seam at the tail. And that's about all I expected for old Salungus over here, so I'm gonna give him a solid star. I think this might be the first double review that I've done in quite a while where I gave both the figures 3 solid stars across the board. That's honestly a reason for celebration, but let's get into the size comparisons. Small, medium, large, related. Jet Beta rocking the plastic lower half and Salunga rivaling that of Anguirus. Surprises all around. While I do feel a larger size for Jet Beta is necessary, Mega Movie Monster Series when, I still think his articulation and such is massively impressive for a Movie Monster Series release. And as for Salunga, just give me an SH Monster Arts release. I know the green monkey, not Gabra, is entirely capable of so much, and I want to accomplish that with a figure, and soon. But for what I do have right now, I am very happy. Both of these figures are just fantastic, and I think, honestly, great ways to end off the Singular Point line. I'm saying this in advance, while I still do hope Bandai does eventually make all the Kumongas and all the Rodans and such. I have a feeling they're not going to do that. Maybe for Season 2, who knows, but yeah, Jet Beta and Salunga. Fantastic. Are they perfect figures? Not in the slightest. Not many movie monster series can be categorized under perfect. But I gotta say, I am happy with these two lovely gentlemen, and I really do hope that there will be more Singular Point figures coming from Bandai. Whenever we hear about Godzilla Singular Point Season 2, if that's even happening, I mean it better, I really do need those 3 versions of Rodan. I need all the versions of Kumonga. I would also really like to see Mark II Jet Jaguar, when he had the wheels for legs and such. I would love that! I would just like to see more of Godzilla Singular Point being repped in the movie monster series eventually. I know for a fact that if Season 2 gets confirmed, we're definitely getting a Singular Point Mechagodzilla, and I can't wait for that. But anyway, I have been ShinRobjira. I do so hope you enjoyed this double review. If this is your first time watching a video of mine, welcome. If this is the last time you'll be watching a video of mine, I'm sorry. And when next we meet, which will likely be tomorrow, we will be talking about the X Plus Defo Real Showa era Jet Jaguar figure, and holy God almighty, this is a beautiful friggin' figure, and I love everything about it. 3 stars. Spoiled. Good night there, everybody. Peace.
Amogus.